right, let's build a shower super fast and efficiently in Chief Architect X-12 and above. We've got a couple new tools in Chief Architect X-12, which we'll go over a few of those. But right off the bat, let's just go into our build section, subsection wall, and get down to our straight glass pony wall. And so I'm going to drag this in here. This is going to be my shower. And I'm not too worried about, where this lines up. Oh, sure. Let's call it 30 inches, something like that. So the first part of this is that I've designated this. I've changed this in my default templates. So if we open up this wall assembly, you'll see here I've got a curb built out. It's got a cap, it's got a wall cap, and then a railing set to it. So let's go over all of that. Underneath our section wall types, subsection pony wall, I've got, by default, this is interior 4 tile one side. I've created a duplicate of this, made it 2 sides so that I have backerboard, thin set mortar, and a tile on my interior layer side of this wall assembly. The next thing I do is this is my preference. I like to see my upper wall outline with my lower wall for these shower walls. Then under my wall cap, I've created, basically this is a tile. It's going to be the full wall width plus a 1/4 inch wall cap. And that's going to be a tile wall cap. And then under newels and baluster section, subsection railing, and the height designation, I've got 72 inches up to 78 inches is probably a standard. And there you go. Now I've taken this and with it selected, you could add this guy to your library. So I have this guy in my library underneath. I've got this is my user library underneath architectural bath, and then shower assemblies. I've got shower walls, and I've got this pony wall glass shower. So there you go. The next part of this is I'm going to create my tile walls, but I don't want them to go all the way up. So I'm not just going to paint the room. Not only that, but I want it to extend past this dividing glass shower wall all the way to the curb or even past the curb, which you can't really do that just by painting the walls. So you could use a wall material region, but I'm going to use the backsplash tool, which is considered something that's in the kitchen category, for one reason and one reason alone, which is that I'm able to save this in a style palette, which is new to X-12, and I'll show you why that's important. So all I did was click on this back wall. The backsplash tool automatically filled everything it could down to the molding that's at the base there, which we'll fix. So the first part of this is I'm just going to drag this guy down. As I'm dragging this edit handle down, I'm going to hit tab, and then let's just say we're going to drop it 12 inches. Next part is let's rotate the view. Same thing, that backsplash tool is still active, and I'm just going to click on this wall. Now, if I were to grab this edit handle right here, you see what happens is it splits on that shower wall. So I'll just hit escape. I'm going to use this. This was introduced in X11, Simplify Polyline in my active toolbar. This is my active toolbar. You might see this, the default set, it might be at the bottom of the screen. But in my active toolbar, I'm going to click on this Simplify Polyline, and you see what happened there? The edit handles on the top changed to one edit handle in the center, which means now I can drag this down that 12 inches and hit my tab while I was still holding the mouse, and then type in 12. And then this guy, let's change my view a little bit more here. I'm going to leave this guy just outside of my curb here. I don't know, let's call it right there. I'm also going to drag this down past the baseboard. Same thing with this back wall here. I'm going to drag that down past the baseboard. So the last part of this is I'm going to select this guy. Well, first of all, let's make sure he's the thickness I want. Yeah, I want it to be 1/2 inch. It could be 2 inches. It could be, whatever your shower wall assembly is going to end up extending out from the wall is where you would designate this and then set it as default. So that's fine. I'm going to use my copy tool right here in the active toolbar, the copy paste tool, and then reflect about, and I'm going to reflect about the room. And there we go. We've got shower walls on both sides. We've got this shower curb, and we've got the shower, shower glass railing essentially. So the last part of this is that I've gone in and underneath the defaults, edit default settings, under floors and rooms, and then room types, I've created a new room type I've called shower. Now, all I had to do to create that was take my bath, copy it. Let's just do test shower. And this room type, the reason I did this is because, one, I wanted my floor finish to be an additional 2 inches tall. And I could have created a material called deck mud, but I'm just going to change the backer board to 2 inches tall. So my floor assembly is going to be 2 inches taller than the bathroom assembly. The next part of this is, in that same designation, I could change, the tile pattern here, right? And then save this room, and now I've got a shower room. So the cool part about that is, once you've created this room, you can save it to a style palette. If you're unfamiliar with style palettes, we've got some other videos about that. There's certainly a lot of videos in the Chief Architect video library. But here we go. I've got a room I call my shower room. And what it has saved in it is that room type, the shower room type, and it also has a backsplash saved. And that's why we used a backsplash for our shower walls, because now I can take this guy right here and paint him inside of this room and watch what happens. It changed my floor material, it raised my floor up to 2 inches, and it changed my backsplash material. Super quick way of saving multiple different shower styles. Which means it's changing your floor material, it's changing your wall material, and then it's quick to go in and grab that wall material and paint it on your curb if you'd like. So let's go to the next part of this. I can see I've got a molding up against my shower curb, which I don't want, so I'm going to just click on the room that adjacent to that shower room, and then I'm going to go to my active toolbar, make room molding polyline. And it's going to pick up the default base molding. I'm just going to hit OK. And then in my active toolbar, I'm going to click on this remove molding from selected edge. Oh, and actually, it removed that side molding. Let's try this again. I'm going to click on that molding. There we go. And we'll remove that molding. Okay. So now I want to add a shower door. And I happen to have one saved. And I can show you how to make one of these. So underneath my, shower doors, we've got shower doors and handles here. Grab shower door. There we go. So I've created this just from a standard door symbol, and I took some standard symbols out of the Chief Architect library. If we open this guy up, we can see that he's designated as door type shower. I've made sure, the thickness is 1/2 inch. And then under the hardware tab, I used a bar pull handle with bell brackets, and that's on the exterior side. And then under hinges, I've got a plate door hinge, and that's in the core libraries. So there we go. We've got a pretty good looking shower door. I'm just going to, show him as open to make this a little bit more dynamic. And then let's get and place, well, first off, let's place brackets a little later. Let's go into I've got shower valve assemblies, which is a little misleading. This is actually my shower trim with a shower head. Need to rename that. I'm going to place it anywhere against this wall, and I'm going to do 2 things. One is I'm going to click on it again and use my center tool, and then I'm going to center about the room. And then the next part of this is, I know my backsplash is 1/2 inch. This, being a symbol, it's a symbol that's designated as place against wall. So it won't place against the backsplash, it will place against the wall. And since I know the backsplash is 1/2 inch, I'm going to grab this center handle, I'm going to drag him out. While I'm still dragging him, hold tab and just designate 1/2 inch. And there we go. We'll get to see the, what's it called, the escutcheon or the trim ring here on the shower head. So the last part of this particular symbol is I grabbed this from the Kohler catalog and then I modified it. And I did that by, you select the symbol and then go in my active toolbar and click this open symbol tool. And underneath the sizing section, subsection height, I've clicked on 1 and 2 under the height and designated them so that I'm creating a stretch plane in between the geometry of the shower head and the shower valve trim. And I made sure underneath the subsection uniform stretch zones between and the checkbox height panel planes 1 and 2. This means that I've got equal stretching in between these 2 heights that I've designated. And in the preview window, I've made sure to show stretch planes so that I can see exactly what's going to be stretching, so that when I raise or lower that edit handle on the side of this, it's only going to it's only going to stretch in this blank area. That doesn't really matter. And so what that means is I can grab this guy, raise him up, and all that did was raise my shower head and not skew the symbol. That's a great way of, an efficient way of being able to put these together. So let's see. And you can do this by mixing and matching valve trim and shower heads, and then group selecting them, and then in the active toolbar, convert selected to symbol. So pretty much any trim, any shower head, you can do the same thing too. It's a really fast way of, putting together the whole shower assembly. Let's go and place a drain next. I've just saved these from the library as well, under drains here. And let's just do a round drain, doesn't matter. Again, I like to just get it on the page and then center to where I want to. It's more reliable to me. There we go. So kind of a big feature of this video is explaining how to create a half wall or pony wall in a shower wall assembly. And so I'm going to use in the active toolbar the brake tool or the number 3 key. Sometimes this is difficult in 3D. Let's do it in 2D. So select that wall, my 3 key or the brake tool there, and there we go. I've created a brake. Now you could try and grab this in 3D and raise this up to get your half wall. The problem with that is this is kind of a glitch for Chief Architect. It doesn't do, it doesn't wrap here on the end of this wall assembly. And not only that, but the railing portion of this gets all screwed up. You try to lower it down, it lowers this right side. It's really kind of goofy. The way around that is that we're going to go in, open this guy up. Under the wall type section, subsection pony wall, I'm just going to copy this guy right here. Copy this 4.5. I'm going to type in 42, and then I'm going to do minus. You could do this math in your head, but this is just a fast way for me to do it. I'm going to minus and then paste that 4.5 and hit tab. It's going to show me this 37.5. I'm going to copy that guy, and I'm going to retype 42. What I just did was did the calculations for how much I need to take away from the newel or baluster railing height. So hit that minus, paste that 37.5. There we go, and I can exit out. And so what I've effectively done is created a 42-inch high pony wall and left this railing height wall the same height as it was before. Really fast and efficient, and it's also wrapped this assembly. You can see it, changed the material on the inside side here. So let's just fix that real quick. There we go. So next up, under my doors, I also have these saved from the core libraries, which is, where am I looking here? Shower assembly, doors. I've got brackets saved from, excuse me, the library here. And I'm going to use this guy right here, shower door wall bracket. I'm just going to place him on the wall and then grab him, and let's get way out, zoomed out, and I'm going to center on this wall right here. There we go. Now I've centered it on the wall. I'm going to kind of place this guy. I'm not going to be super accurate on this. I'm going to place this guy here. We'll copy paste him, drag him down here. Maybe we've got one turned up on this wall assembly, so we'll turn this guy and let it regenerate its symbol. Do you want to regenerate? Yes, we do. Maybe pull him over here. He looks like he needs to come up, I don't know, 1/4 inch or something like that. And then we can also stretch this door to meet that half wall. Okay, so we're looking pretty dynamic in here. So next part of this is I want to put a niche in here. Niche. Oh man, need to drink some water. Here we go. So automatically this is going to create a jamb, and it's going to be fit to wall. And then it also creates, kind of a backing material here. So we can paint this guy. Well, let's say we're going to paint it the hex floor here. But the problem with the jamb is it's not extended all the way out. So we're going to open this guy up, and let's see, I should say it's called frame in this particular instance. Instead of fit frame to wall, let's make him 3 plus the thickness of our backsplash. Right? 3.5 inch, and then inset's going to be -0.5. There we go. Now it's fit to that backsplash. Bam. Looking pretty sharp. So let's do one more thing here. I want to do, I want kind of either a bull nose or a quarter round around this outside tile here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my plan view, and I'm going to pull this guy right here, my elevation tool, and let's go this direction. And so I'm going to take this backsplash and select him, active toolbar. We're going to do convert to plane polyline, and then we're going to use the convert polyline tool and make him a 3D molding, which will bring up this dialog, and we're going to replace the default, whatever it is. And I'm probably going to do some kind of quarter round. I'm just going to type in round. That'll bring up my quarter round molding. There we go. And I'm just going to make sure he's the same size as my backsplash. And let's close that box. Now we can see here, oh, one thing I forgot to do, I forgot to copy that backsplash before I did that. I meant to copy and hold position. So that's kind of a quick fix. We'll just copy and reflect about and get him put back in place. Okay, so now that we've got that, let's paint this quarter round. We might need a custom material for this to look right, but just for now, we can show that. There we go. So let's copy this and get him to the other side. Reflect about the room. Now there's a problem with this because of just the way Chief makes this. It's going to be reversed. And since we're in the XY plane, the quick fix for that is get to our transform replicate object, and let's just click the reflect horizontal. And then the last part of that, which we didn't do, is that we need to move him over, let's see, -0.5 inch. There we go. Last part of this is that we're going to put that same molding on this back wall. We're going to have to pull, in this case we can use our wall elevation tool. I could just draw a line across the top, but I'm just going to do this the same way, which is let's copy paste this guy in place, paste hold position, and then convert to plane polyline. Sure. And then the last guy here, that 3D molding. Let's replace him. Choose that quarter round, and then that same 1/2 inch designation. Okay, and I think we still need to move that guy back or up 1/2 inch. We do. Transform replicate, move him in the Y. In this case, we're moving positively, so let's go 1/2 inch. There we go. And the last part of this is let's paint this guy. Okay, so let's close this camera. I want to pull a PBR view. Let's also close this elevation. We can close this this next elevation as well. And let's, before we do that, let's get a couple lights in here. And we'll pull a regular camera, change him to a PBR. All right, there we go. We've got a full shower assembly. It's a really fast way of building a shower. Obviously I'm slowing down and explaining things as I'm going. Ultimately, I could build this shower out in, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, something like that. So hope this helps a couple of you. Leave some comments, questions, anything, and please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.